And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking WRC Sweden. Yes, arguably rally's coldest event. Well, there's loads of powder, as in snow. Can you see me? I'm trying to be a bit cool. But from there, we're going to have Martin Sesks' debut for the 2025 season. Can Kalle Rovanperä undo what happened last year when he did a whoopsie-daisy along with Taka as well? And this was the scene of Esa-Pekka Lappi's fantastic victory in 2024. Sadly, he is not here. Can Elfyn Evans, leading from the front, he's technically in the lead of the championship because OJ's only part-time, but he's going to be opening the road. That's going to be a bit of a disadvantage, isn't it? Can either of the other two full-time M-Sport drivers beat Sesks and stop themselves being embarrassed, kind of like the Hyundais were with Adrian Formeau, where he scored his first podium here last year? I'm slowly getting out of breath, so I'll see you on the other side of this. So if you didn't know, apparently there is a rally at some point this weekend. Yes, and what rally is it? Pray tell. It is the Swedish rally, as in Rally Sweden. Here's the programme here. So Thursday, we're going to have the Shakedown and SS1. Onwards to Friday, from SS2 to SS8. Friday seems to be one of the longest days, as usual. Saturday, another longest day. And sadly, Sunday, have that kind of pathetic, few stages. I can't help but be disappointed. But anyway, I digress. It is Rally Sweden. It was a classic rally last year. So let's get into it. But before we get into the drivers, etc., you can watch it on Rally TV, Red Bull TV, with the highlights and their social media channels. But here we go. So 9:01 is the Shakedown, and then SS1 is going to be at 7:05 Swedish time. It's going to be dark, isn't it? And then day 2, we start. This is all going to be local time at 9 o'clock for special stage number 2, 28.27 kilometers. That is really going to be telling. That is, and in terms of the long day, Friday very much is the long day. When you look at the miles they're doing, they got a 28 stage and then a 20 stage. And followed by a 10, and then back to the 28 and the 20. Whoa. And then day 3, we're starting at 9:10 this time, in a slightly shorter day in terms of length. And then we have 2 big stages on Sunday. When we'll talk about the stages in a bit, we've got an interesting preview for that. But let's carry on, because it is Rally Sweden Round 2. This is your WRC2 entry list, including Solberg, the home of the rally, and a very interesting finish person, let's say, who hopefully we'll get into during this preview. In terms of the WRC entry list, this is all from the AG Rally Facebook page, which is absolutely awesome. We've got Evans, Formeau, Rovanperä, Tanak, Neuville, McLaren, Katsuta, Munster, Pajario, Piari, Sesks, Bertelli, breaking news in relation to Bertelli. Work commitments announced, he's out. So we did have 12 strong. We don't now. And Serduridis. I can't pronounce your name. Give up. Absolutely give up. Here's obviously the maps. If you can make, that's Sardinia. Ignore that. But this is the hand-cooked tyres. These are the 2025 hand-cooked tyres for the snow. Spiky. And they're the Pirellis. I can't help but feel it's probably just distorted perspective. They look a bit thinner, and the hand-cooked tyres very much look different to the Pirellis. When you look at the studs, that's going to be interesting. Silver studs, gold studs. Yeah, I don't think the colour's going to make a difference, but the tread very well might. It's really, really interesting. And obviously, no hybrid here as well for the first time in a couple of years. So there we go. But look who's back. This man's back. He is back for 6 WRC rounds. It is Martin Sesks. And I know I am absolutely, he's one of my favourite drivers. When I saw him, obviously in the ERC, but when he made that, without hybrid, I think he finished second, didn't he? And on one of his first rallies in one of the stages, not second overall. But he did very, very well, didn't he? He did very well for himself. And I think he's a very exciting talent. So is Piari. What is he going to do in the snow? If he beats either of the M Sport drivers, lol is all I'm going to say to that. But here we go. Here is his car. It looks, I almost think his car was nicer last time out. Dare I say it? What do you guys think? But I still think it is very nice. Safety Culture is obviously the big sponsor there. Thank you, Safety Culture, for allowing us Martin Sesks in Sweden, the big rear wing. I think the livery looks quite nice. Not as nice as his 2024 livery though, but there we go. Beggars can't be choosers, and yeah, there we. I'm most certainly not going to argue. But let's first of all talk about a certain Ollie Solberg, who did not particularly great in Monte Carlo, but he did praise his Toyota, and that's what impressed him most. He's changed teams for the season in the World Rally Championship, as we know, and this year Solberg joined the Finnish Print Sport team, switching to the Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2, which did PRE very well. With this move, he also gained a strong connection to Toyota's WRC campaign. So, I mean, I think if the likes of Katsuta, PRE, maybe even Evans absolutely flump it not this weekend, but this year, someone like Solberg could be in the wings. He got his first taste of the new Finnish team at Rally Monte Carlo and was highly impressed with the work ethic. He said, what's so nice with Toyota and the people around is that they have a passion for rally. It's all about working together and winning together. He said, there's no politics or anything like that. We have fun during testing, work hard, and try to come up with solutions. Everyone is allowed to share ideas and work together, and that's what I love a lot, he said. Although Solberg is now part of the Toyota camp, the Swede refrained from criticising his previous employers, showing them respect. However, he was quick to heap praise on Toyota. He said, with Skoda, which I've been driving for 2 years, you get used to the car. That was the first time I've driven the same car for 2 years in a row, getting to work on it a lot. And he said, already now with Toyota, I've tried to follow the philosophy I've always had about what I like in a car, what it makes it easier to drive. Absolutely. Kind of makes sense, Solberg. And he said, with a big window of performance, we've already worked hard with Toyota to improve in those areas. But it has a lot of strength already from the start. It's a very small car with a good weight distribution and long suspension. And he said has many strong points, but for sure, I believe there are also many areas we can improve and get better at. At least the base and the potential are massive, Solberg added enthusiastically. That's quite interesting. But let's not forget this guy here, the youngest ever, Tuukka Kauppinen. And if you remember him, he was, if we go all the way back, Tuukka Kauppinen, he is there. Number 34 in the rally. Why are we excited about him? Well, all eyes are on him because he won the Arctic Rally Lapland at the age of 18, becoming what is the youngest ever winner of the Finnish event. Why is that significant? Because another driver was there in the name of Kalle Rovanperä in the Rally 1, Esa-Pekka Lappi in the Skoda Fabia RS Rally 2. And we see Kauppinen in action very soon as he will compete in the WRC category of his upcoming Rally Sweden. That's the February the 13th and the 16th for some. I am very excited about that. Are you? Hopefully you are. So this is our rally. This is very much our rally zone here. And before we get into the drivers and our predictions on who we think is going to do particularly well and who we think is probably not going to do particularly well, let's speak about the actual stages, shall we? There's a really good website called powerslide.blog.com that talks about the stages. I'm going to get all these names absolutely wrong though. Umeå City, that's the new shakedown in the city of Umeå, let's say, and that's going to be the first 1.5 kilometers are on a semi-wide smooth road. The rest of the stage is usually on a narrow trail, he's saying, passing through a park with the stage finish being next to the river. Most definitely not a representative shakedown, and he's thinking that would be a much better SSS. So here we go. The sprint though is the opening stage of the rally and remains unchanged from last year. It's a mix of straights and junctions, with the end of the stage being on the Red Barn area. You want to have a look at what that Red Barn area is. pray tell. Let me just, if I can, just swap it here. There we go. That is the red barn area there. It does look mighty impressive, doesn't it? So Friday, as we know, is going to be the longest day of the rally, and it's going to feature 2 new stages never used before in the rally. The day is comprised of 2 loops of 3 repeated stages, as well as a second one. So SS2 is extended by 200 metres and 24. The stage was used on Saturday. It's a long stage. It's that 28-kilometre stage we mentioned. It's not really special though. Formo won the first pass of the stage last year, but most of the stage, he's saying, is on a medium wide road. We've got many straights connected with junctions or hairpins. The first 5k are fast, followed up by a massive 1.2 kilometre straight. That's only, what, 0.4 of a kilometre shy of a mile. Now after that, the stage becomes technical, featuring 2 junctions. We've got one at 17.5 and another at 19 kilometres. After that, the road's going to become narrower and more bumpy. Another hairpin follows at the 21.8 kilometre mark, with the stage becoming wider and almost flat out, up until though you hit 25 kilometres. And after which it turns out on a narrow, technical and bumpy road until the finish. Mickey Mouse corners, as Martin Brundle would say about Formula 1. So SS3 and 6, otherwise known as the Anzervatnet. I got that wrong, isn't it? But that's, interestingly, this is new for this event. The first 1.5 kilometres, once again, we are loving the wide flat road because that's exactly what it is. Becoming slightly narrower, but still fast. And at 4.5k, the stage turns into a wide flat stretch out that lasts until the 7 kilometre mark. Yeah, it's going to be balls to the wall there. So after which the stage turns to a road, which becomes narrower. And then again, we have the more technical aspect of that stage. And another long straight follows until we get to the 9k. After which the character again changes. We've got smooth to fast. More technical section follows at 12 kilometres. And that's going to last around 4k. At 12.7, the road becomes wider momentarily, narrows up suddenly with timber. Oh gosh. Yeah, you don't want to hit that being stored. The end of the stage is slightly narrower, but it is a faster road, which I think is quite interesting. I mean, these are just some of the things we've got for Rally Sweden. I'm not going to get into all of them, but let's talk about SS4 and 7. Back is another new stage at 10.8 kilometres. It's going to be the shortest UMEA stage of the rally. It's a lot more technical compared to the other stages. Okay, but the first 4k is going to be narrow and technical on the road, with many dips and bumps on the surface. The stage changes after that section with a massive 3 kilometre straight, interrupted by a chicane detour through a field at just past the 5 kilometres of 5.3. And after the end of the straight, the stage turns to a more medium speed and medium wide road until the finish, and the day ends with a second pass through the UMF sprint in the evening. Saturday overall is 100 kilometres, and the opening stage is SS9. That's the opening stage, and it remains unchanged from last year. And then we got the other stages. I just wanted to give you guys an absolute flavour. But if you want to read more, it's powerslide.blog.com is where you want to be for that. But I digress now. Let's get into our predictions and where we think and who we think is going to be doing well in the rally this year. I don't know who we're going to begin with. Well, let's begin then with who we think is potentially going to finish last. Am I cruel? Yes, I probably am. Because we're saying Josh McLaren, when I watched the rally preview on the official WRC channel, they said, oh yeah, he did really good. He did really good. No, he didn't. I mean, this is a guy, he's won in the WRC2 category. He's won a WRC2 event. So why at times was he finishing behind other WRC2 runners in better machinery? Is it cruel? I mean, you probably saw the footage behind. Rubbish. But there we go. But no, he should not be finishing. He should not be finishing behind WRC2 drivers. Next up, we have got Gregor Munster from Luxembourg. Yeah, he's going to finish, I think, second to last. Whoops-a-daisy. Not particularly great, I don't think he is. But, yeah. They are all saying he did very well. To be fair, I had to eat humble pie in Monte Carlo because he did win a stage. Yes, everything did favour him, but at the end of the day, he still had to have the speed. He still had to not make a mistake and get to the end of the stage, which he did. Was I harsh on Gregor Monster? Maybe. And I think depending if everyone finishes and he doesn't make a mistake, if he finishes kind of last of the one, it's fair enough. If he can finish even in the top 5 or 6, that for me will be brilliant for Gregor Monster without any, with not too much funny business. But next up, I think, is going to finish, well, let's say third from last, is Piari. He really struggled, I thought, in Monte Carlo with the car. I kind of expected more. Is he going to struggle here? I don't know. Well, he didn't beat... I mean, I can't even remember whether he was in the WRC 2 event last year. But he struggled. And that was, for me, it was kind of disappointing. So I guess fingers crossed we'll have to see. But this guy here also struggled at Monte Carlo. What happened here? Now, the saving grace, I think, for Kasuta, and hopefully proving me wrong, where he's going to be the 4th last person, so to speak, is he did quite the good job in Sweden the last year. He had the speed. Excuse me, I'm trying not to burp. He had the speed until, let's say, he didn't when he became a big snowplow. So, yeah. So the guy that finished third, got his first podium, I'm predicting is going to be finishing not first, not second, third, fourth, fifth. He is going to be finishing 6th, I think. Pretty much because I think the other 2 Hyundai drivers have had a massive wake-up call. And it was sheer mistakes as well that both the Hyundai drivers were doing. I think the Hyundai drivers could potentially be faster here than Formo. I say potentially because Formo did get that podium here. But without being too harsh, many people fell by the wayside for Adrian Formo to get his first podium. At the end of the day, he did better than everyone finishing below him, simply because he did not make mistakes and he was fast enough. So we're gonna have our fingers crossed there. Now, next up is this guy here. Now, I don't want to slate him. He did really well, I think, in Monte Carlo. At times, I thought maybe he could beat Ogier, but then part of me thought, is he just thinking about that championship, securing second, knowing going into Sweden, Elvin Evans is going to be leading that championship? I think probably, if I'm honest. But, and here's the bit, he's opening the road. So a lot of this is going to depend on the weather. If it is snowing, which is every chance it's going to do, like it did last year with heavy snow. I mean, the snow was so heavy for the WRC, for the WRC1 cars, to get basically become one of the most expensive $1 million snowplows ever. A WRC2 driver ended up winning a stage, which was, amazing. But because he's opening the road, I think there's a lot of risk that he may well struggle. I'm gambling now because there's every chance, and when he opens the road, that is when the road could potentially be best. So I'm taking a gamble, and it's not necessarily because of Evans' lack of speed, but I do think starting and opening the road is going to be a struggle. It was a struggle for Neuville last year. So who's going to finish just off the podium? Controversial maybe, I'm saying this guy. I think he's going to beat both M Sport drivers. Am I giving him too much credit? Probably. But I'm predicting that Martin Sesks is going to finish in 4th. Why? He doesn't normally do snow. I guess snow's closer to gravel than tarmac is. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there though. I'm saying awesome debut for Martin Sesks. Fingers crossed. Just keep the faith and don't go off in like stage 1, Martin, and then completely, I'm going to be humbled. So in 3rd, I think Neuville is going to have that wake-up call that his boss has suggested, and I think he'll be really, really good. He needs to show he had speed. At times he had speed in Monte Carlo, sort of. And he also made the same mistake twice and also hit part of a cliff as well. So it definitely wasn't the best, was it? And talking about definitely wasn't the best, it definitely wasn't the best for this guy here either. The man from Estonia, Ottanek, who I will still say is one of the fastest rally drivers of this current generation. He just makes too many mistakes. If he finishes, I think he'll be up there really high on the podium. And I think the guy arguably under some of the most pressure is the guy who I think is favourite to win. I think he's not a fan of Monte Carlo. He was doing an K-ish in Rally Sweden until he didn't, let's say. And I think Kalle Rovanperä is the favourite going in because he now has a point to prove. He won the most rallies last year, and this year he's gunning for that 3rd championship. And I think he's going to be the man to beat. Could I be wrong? Yeah, probably. I mean, let's be fair, there's absolutely every chance I am wrong, but I guess we'll see. So that is a WRC2 preview. Let's just move it to here. There we go. That is our sorry about that. That is our WRC2 preview. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much if you did. You guys are absolutely amazing. What I would like to do, though, is invite you to subscribe if you're not already. Please do that. That would be absolutely epic. Thank you very much. We would really enjoy that. If you're already subscribed and you want to do a tiny bit more, hit that like button, comment below, let us know who you think is going to win the rally. But until then, stay safe, speak to you soon, and I'm trying to stall now because I'm trying to hit the outro button. Thank you very much for watching.